Good afternoon on what is another bright, sunny and warm day. It is Thursday, 24th of March. I'm in the reading nook with a big parcel and a nice hot cup of tea. And I'm going to continue essentially digging into this big box of books from Modiphius Entertainment. Obviously the first thing to pull out is that, which I've done unboxing of, and obviously the dice for the John Carter of Mars role-playing game, and the card sets as well, and then get to the first package down below. Close all that up. Let's see what we've got in here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We have careful now. The Dark Symmetry Campaign Book. Okay, this is for Mutant Chronicles, basically the techno fantasy role-playing game, 3rd edition. It's a Swedish role-playing game, originally published in the 1990s. Got a 2nd edition, or basically got an English translation in the mid to late 90s, which is where most people came across it. And it's been basically a miniatures game, a movie, novels, and so on ever since. And Modiphius Entertainment published it as one of its first 2D20 system role-playing games, and this was the first campaign, and it was one of the first releases for it. So, oh, hold on one moment. Are you coming up? Come on. No, he'll decide in a minute. No, okay, here it comes. And I'm beginning a visit from the cat, who is not ours. So, the rise of darkness. An imperial expedition on Pluto has unleashed a wave of darkness and despair upon humanity, spreading madness and corruption. While the worlds of mankind fall to ruin, a handful of determined investigators stumble across conspiracies that threaten to tear civilization apart. 2 campaigns. So we have, this book contains 2 distinct campaigns set in the Dark Symmetry era, exploring the early years of the Mutant Chronicles setting. The Fall of Von Hull. In the days following the emergence of the Dark Symmetry, a missing heiress, emergency call, and the agenda of a madman all lead to an upsetting discovery and a vile conspiracy. The Dark Symmetry campaign. At the height of the First Dark Legion War, a series of seemingly innocuous events in Lunar City reveal a dark scheme that spreads across human civilization. Pre-generated characters, 6 characters designed to work with the premise of the adventures. Doom Troopers, a selection of items used by the cartel's elite warriors who were founded in the height of the First Dark Legion War. Yeah, no interest, of course, none at all, just not to this. So yeah, that's basically on the back there. So we open up with a map of Lunar City. Lunar City obviously being the refuge of mankind after the Earth has been devastated as a result of essentially the encounters with the Dark Legion, Dark Symmetry and so on. So we get into essentially introduction and playing a guide to playing in the Dark Symmetry era, and the background there. Hopefully he's going to settle down in a minute, because trying to do this past his head is just adds to the challenge. And oh hey, enough of the teeth. And it's just gentle, and that was almost a gentle nip there. So essentially we get a setting of the Strafar Gatan 39, and straight away the player characters are drawn into the investigation that it involves, and where we have such the location with a very rough, scrappy map. Surprisingly rough and scrappy, but okay, that's fair enough. You know, it's almost as you know, basically it's on a police document, so it's been hand drawn. So that's you know, that works. So we actually get into essentially, then we get into the various descriptions of the locations on the map, the various apartments, and including a drug den, the Croaks, the religious old lady, and Von Hole's apartment. And then basically the next 4 up and the disaster going on there. Yeah, not very helpful. But he's distracting me. But he'll settle down in a minute. And then we go into what's really basically deeper investigation. Come on, you settle down. So here we've got some nice handouts, some nice files for the player characters to be given, containing further clues. And just carrying on essentially through the following up on Von Hole, going through his office, just finding out what's befallen him, what's he up to, and how he has become corrupted. And this, of course, unleashes chaos across the Lunar City, and player characters, of course, running around trying to stop it, and like predicting a riot. And then we get encounter with the giant-eyed alien, one of the Dark Symmetries, one of the Dark Lords, so basically the factions in the setting. So yeah, essentially this sets everything up for sort of essentially for a campaign set during the period before we get on to the Dark Symmetry campaign itself. So campaign overview, and then getting into the details of the Appetite for Destruction. And again, this is still built around, essentially connected with the Lunar PD. The player characters are either sort of freelancers connected or actually on working for them. And this would really actually work, obviously, of course, with the Lunar Handbook, and with more details of the Lunar Police Department, so on. I guess we've got a bit of context here, so that I do like that kind of thing where you have in the news, things going on in the background, which gives colour to the setting, and also drops a few clues as necessary. It's something which I really liked in Judge Dredd, the role-playing game, because obviously, you would drop various clues in that might be going on around the set, things about going on around the sector, and they might come into play. And then we've got miscellaneous events, so you have events going on in addition to the main plot, so that it's not entirely focused upon the main plot. So whether that's sort of like encountering a corrupted buildbot 2000. Basically the Dark Symmetry is being to swirl out and corrupt the technology. So yeah, I'm with different locations, missing person cases, lots going on besides the plot itself, so it's enough to really sort of keep the characters busy with different events and more. And then we have sort of like the arrival of the Incursed with connected events, and the detailing the life cycle of the invasion of it, sort of like the Dark Symmetry. Yes, okay, it's okay. With full stats. Sorry, he's being very insistent about being given a fuss, aren't you? It's not like he doesn't get a fuss if he wants to, but he is quite fond of us. So yeah, interesting looking. We've got a clock tower event, where we have a lone gunman, or a very classic kind of situation. basically flame warrior going mad in detail-laying apartment block. More, so it's quite a lengthy, detailed campaign. Lots of locations for exploration and combat, and really does bring the gives a lot for the player characters to do. We're basically going over again the next part, and it's doing the same kind of thing. And basically, this is sort of like taking the player characters underneath Luna, into its darkest secrets, and then encountering, they're encountering the heretics who have been influenced by the Dark Symmetry, and want to see its influence grow and grow, including some summoning something unwholesome. So yeah, we have basically more myths of the underground. So basically, it's really where the first part of the campaign is played above ground. This is definitely a subterranean or sublunar campaign, and I suspect the player characters will kind of feel on their own. But the next part takes them to Mars. So you've got a bit of a here's your setting, here's your home setting going on, things strange happening to it, investigate the causes, follow the clues, and take them off world. So having such plans of the Pandora a spaceship which will take them to Mars, and things will of course happen aboard ship. We've got a decent image there. A ship about to enter orbit. And encounter with another cult, this one a cult of Damocles. This is aboard Fuji Station, so we've got an interesting sort of like more open encounter there. So I'm just fussing him because it keeps him happy. Then we get to the deregulation zone of Mars. Essentially, deregulation zone is where you have, obviously, it's a free trade zone. I'm presuming a nice image of Mars, bulwark against the sands, and then we have capital self-made millionaire Don Stevia. I'm not trying to draw any conclusions to who that might supposed to look like or not, but in hindsight. And even he agrees with me, don't you? But, so, yeah. And then we have delivering the incursed, essentially transporting it. Oh, this is not going well. And yeah, it's quite a lot to see. And then we have, oh, no, he's moving. Go on. This isn't helpful, Cat. Go on. Thank you. So, one basic. Frida Williams is a group, a basically surprisingly deadly TV executive. And more investigation to do into essentially, who's supplying the red pills. And this ultimately, basically, we get into part 5, which is the deputy. I presume this will be the third final part. Yeah, this is lots to look at. Part 6 is the sister down. And I guess each of these you've got sort of like a guide to running that part of the adventure, and this will see the player characters doing their very best to stop the threat as it mounts, And come to conclusion. Then we've got the end. We've got a section on the Doom Troopers, which is pre-generated characters that the player characters players can choose. Doom Trooper Warrior, Doom Trooper Marksman. Got notes on the Doom Trooper armor, and then different armaments. They're available from the cartel. Oh, so hold on. We have actually we actually have the pre-gens, which are we've got a couple of Lunar PD officers, a bodyguard, and a marksman. Both there. One from Imperial, one from Mishima. And let's see, and a freelance tech and a Lunar PD medic. So it's quite a strange group, but again, you're going to work together to discover, uncover this mystery. So you do get a lot to play with, I think, in this campaign. So essentially, I think that each of these parts, the scenarios, are probably multi-part, sort of multi-session scenarios in there. So this would probably take, I suppose you're talking 12 to 15 sessions. I think I should probably think to complete. And you really don't need anything beyond the core rules to run this. But if you've got hold of a Lunar PD book, that would probably the Lunar source book, that would probably be useful for it. Anyway, so that's Dark Symmetry, a campaign book for Mutant Chronicles 3rd edition from Modiphius Entertainment. I hope you've enjoyed this one. It was a bit interrupted because of the cat who is not ours, but there we go. Anyway, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. If you enjoyed this, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings out here in the Nook, where you will see me with a box and a book for a game, which I will unbox and talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.